Hello everyone, Charles Watts here. Welcome back to Inside Arsenal. It is Wednesday. I hope the morning is going well wherever you're watching or listening to this around the world. I'm sure it is. Let's face it, I'm sure it is. It's a good morning. It's a nice morning. Arsenal thumping Atletico Madrid 4-0 at the Emirates last night. So we're going to talk about that in today's show, round up the big talking points, go over my player ratings. Obviously, I didn't do a video after the game and just enjoy what was a really good night. First of all, thank you very much as always for joining me. I really do appreciate it. Also, I'm going to be sitting down with James Bench a little bit later on today to do Inside Arsenal Extra Time, where, of course, I'm sure we're going to talk more about last night's game. But anything you want us to discuss in that show, then you know what to do by now. Get down into the comments, give us your question, your opinion, your comments. Start it with Extra Time, and I'll pull some of them together and get them included in that show. Right, let's revel in last night's victory, shall we? Because it was a good one. 4-0, another clean sheet, 2 more set-piece goals, 2 goals for Victor Gyokeres, standout performances all over the pitch. This was a real statement win from Arsenal. 6 wins in a row now in all competitions. Things are really beginning to click into gear, are they? It was a really impressive win. First of all, very different second half to first half. I thought the first half was actually good as well against a really good team. Obviously, Atletico are a really good team, well drilled. Julian Alvarez, oh, what a player he is, by the way. But I still thought Arsenal played pretty well in that first half. They had opportunities, had a goal that was ruled out, just fractionally offside, obviously for Gabriel Martinelli. They had other opportunities. Eze hit the bar. Saka had one saved by Oblak, and Arsenal just kept plugging away. They just needed to find a breakthrough, and they had to wait a little bit longer than I'm sure we all would have hoped to get that. And when it came from a familiar source, of course, a set piece. What a delivery that was by Declan Rice. Whereas all like opposition fans at the moment and rival fans are all having a go about Arsenal set pieces, there is a quality to them that you just got to stand back and admire at times. And when you've got someone like Declan Rice who can put in set pieces like he did yesterday, the delivery for that first goal, for Gabriel's goal, is as good as it gets. It was a brilliant run, of course, by Gabriel. Brilliant header as well to beat a keeper like Oblak. But the delivery, it is just begging to be put away. And that's exactly what it was. And as soon as that goal went in, the floodgates opened. Arsenal started to play with some real belief. There's a brilliant second goal from Gabriel Martinelli. Obviously, Mars Lewis Skelly front and centre of that with the driving run through the middle. And that just kind of lit up the Emirates, I thought, that goal, the Martinelli one. It was the fact that Miles did the sort of run that he did, but the finish from Martinelli, first time as well, just comes alive in the Champions League. Made it 2-0, very quickly after. Although there was a point just before that goal, it was after Gabriel's goal, that Atletico broke and had a good chance down the right-hand side at the penalty area in the right-hand channel. Gabriel made a brilliant block, and he celebrated that just as much as he celebrated his goal. So, big moments at both ends of the pitch there. And then Martinelli went up and made it 2-0 soon after that, and that just sort of killed Atletico at that point, and Arsenal just took control. 2 goals from Victor Gyokeres, which were obviously, absolutely brilliant for him, for the team, for Arsenal. We'll talk about him in a minute to round things off. And you look at the numbers at the end of the game, and don't think, this is a very good Atletico side, a really experienced, well-drilled team. One of European heavyweights, are always there and thereabouts in the Champions League, managed by a fantastic manager, a team that don't give up many opportunities, don't give up many goals. And Arsenal smacked them. They absolutely smacked them last night. And the numbers show that. Just the one shot on target. I couldn't remember the shot on target. I'm trying to get it at the top of my head. I think it was Thiago Almeida who had it at the end. I had to go back this morning and watch and try and find what that shot on target was. It was in the 77th minute, just a sort of slipped in ball down the left-hand channel. It was a very weak left-footed shot by Almeida that Raya saved very comfortably in his near post. But I genuinely couldn't remember it. And that was how comfortable I thought Arsenal were at the back. Again, there was that Alvarez shot that hit the bar, and that was at 0-0. So it might have been a completely different game had that gone in. You wouldn't want it to fall behind. And there was the let-off, obviously, in the first half we haven't spoken about yet, when Raya tried to let the ball run out of play, got himself all in a right old mix-up. And I think it was Simeone, wasn't it, who had the shot from the tight angle that, had it been on target, Raya wouldn't have been able to get back in time, and that would have been a goal for Atletico. So there were a couple of moments for them, but which you're going to get when you're playing a team of Atletico's quality. But on the whole, this was just a really solid, excellent Arsenal performance. Like I said, a real statement win to the rest of Europe in terms of what they are about. And obviously Victor Gyokeres getting his 2 goals at the end. you could see by the celebrations, not just his celebration, but by his teammates' celebrations, what that meant to the team. You know, they know he's been going through a little bit of a barren patch, and there'd been lots of focus on that. The narrative was starting to get louder and louder every single game about how long it's been since Victor Gyokeres scored. So for him to get those 2 goals yesterday was so important, not just for him, but for the team as well. And they knew that. You could see the celebrations, and they were sort of pushing him towards the fans. They were so happy for him. He got given the Man of the Match award, which was great as well. And it was just a big moment for him and for Arsenal. And I loved the interview he did. You might not have seen it. He did the interview with CBS after the game and was talking to Jamie Carragher, Thierry Henry, Mika Richards was doing the interview. And Jamie Carragher asked him about the number 14 shirt and scoring the goals. And that sort of, did that add to the expectation or the pressure on him carrying that number 14 shirt? And obviously he said this while Henry was sitting next to him. And I loved Gyokeres' response. He was just like, no, I mean, there's lots of goals in this shirt and there's lots of goals to come. And I just thought that little response and how sort of dead-eye he was, is just another kind of indication on why I wasn't that worried about Victor Gyokeres and the fact he'd gone a while without scoring, because I just didn't see a player who was struggling for confidence or anything like that. He kept putting in the work. There'd been some really impressive games during that run, more impressive than the games that I'd seen him scoring earlier on in the season. So that's why I didn't really feel that. I wasn't that worried about Victor Gyokeres. I felt like the goals were going to come. Obviously, you want them to come sooner rather than later, and they did now. And absolutely so happy. Honestly, I've got people on social media put out, I'm happy with Victor Gyokeres, and people are like, oh, you've been pining for Kai Havertz's return. Like that's anything against Victor Gyokeres. It's not. I just want Kai Havertz back because Arsenal are going to be a better team and a better squad when Kai Havertz is back. And I think Victor Gyokeres will be a better player for having Kai Havertz back. You know, that me wanting Kai Havertz back is not a dig at Victor Gyokeres, who I think has done very well during this period and is still acclimatising to Arsenal and doing it well. But having Kai Havertz back is going to be a real plus for the team, for the squad, for us, and for Victor Gyokeres. So really happy for him last night. Mikel obviously speaking about him in the press conference afterwards. He gets some really good, if you're watching on YouTube, you know what I'm talking about here. But the fact they've taken the tunnel away really does sort of create some really good imagery after the game. And that picture there, Victor Gyokeres going down the tunnel with all the fans, putting their arms out, putting their hands out to high five him. I think it's a great image, and you get lots of those after the game. It really does make for some cool pictures. So on Victor Gyokeres getting back amongst the goals, Mikel said, I think he deserved it because everything we are seeing in terms of what he was bringing to the team and how much he was helping the team in many areas, apart from scoring the goals in the last few weeks, there's just been no debate about that. It was about keeping that belief in himself, that emotional state that he can enjoy and play freely. I think he's certainly done that. Again, he was rewarded with 2 goals and the biggest smile on his face. Look at his teammates as well in the pictures and in the videos. They are all so happy for him because he fully deserves it. He was asked about then the work that Gyokeres has been doing, even when he hasn't been scoring. And he says all of it because it makes us a better team. I think we've become much more unpredictable. He's so physical. He opens the spaces for everybody. The way he presses the ball, holds the ball, he's just been phenomenal. And then there's the icing on the cake. And the biggest thing that we're going to debate about him is goals. He has scored 2 very different ones today, and hopefully he starts to get momentum and a good run of goals. And I really think he will. I really think he will. What's 5 now for the season, which isn't bad at this stage, but I really think the goals are going to continue to come now. He needed those last night. He's got them, and I'm sure plenty more are now going to follow. On the performance itself yesterday, Mikel understandably very, very happy. Why wouldn't you be? He said, I'm extremely happy and proud of the performance and the results against a really good side. I was very impressed when I analysed them and what I've seen today about them as well. So I knew about the difficulty of it. It required a lot of aggression, a lot of patience. The way they managed the context of the game and the way they can manipulate their behaviour was really impressive. With it being 0-0 at halftime, even though we generated 2 or 3 big chances, we had to stay patient, but at the same time increase it a little bit, set areas to damage them more. We did that, and I think we were very effective as well. So understandably, very, very happy. Mikel Arteta. Right, I'm going to go into my player ratings now. They're obviously good ratings today. I'm sure they're not going to be agreed upon, as always, when it comes to my player ratings, but this is what I have gone for. So I gave Raya a 6. Look, again, he made a bit of a mix-up in the first half, as we spoke about, which could have led to a goal. Hasn't made many sort of errors of judgment so far this season. That was one, perhaps. It was really smart thinking by Atletico, by the way. But, you know, other than that, he had 1 save to make in the whole game. did the usual stuff pretty well in terms of sweeping up. So I gave him a 6, just an average day for Raya. I gave him a 6. Timber, another fantastic performance from just a wonderful player. No other right back in the world I'd want over Jurrien Timber, I have to say. Right now, he's just playing at such a level that he's just fabulous. So I gave him an 8. I gave Saliba a 7. Gabriel, I gave a 9. Goal, assist, clean sheet, brilliant block at 1-0 as well, as I said, which he celebrated more than the goal almost. Just a really great performance again from... I genuinely think he's probably the best centre-back in the world at the moment, Gabriel, on all areas. You know, who else is there who would rival Gabriel? You know, I think even Saliba will admit at the moment Gabriel's playing at a higher level than him and has been for a long time, for about a season. You know, Van Dijk's been pretty sketchy this season. I genuinely think Gabriel is the best centre-back in the world. What he does at both ends of the pitch just makes him stand out above anyone else for me at the moment. So I gave him a 9. Lewis Skelly, I gave an 8. Good to see him back. Wasn't sure. I thought Calafiori might start. I thought he'd probably change one of the fullbacks. I think my predicted 11, I predicted White would start and Calafiori would start, but he went with the other fullbacks. So he gave Calafiori the night off and played Timber. But I thought Lewis Skelly stepped in and played it really well. Obviously got a fantastic assist for Gabriel Martinelli. So I gave him an 8. Zubamendi was my man of the match. I thought he was just brilliant, Zubamendi. And when you sort of watch it back and you look at some of the goals and you find how Zubamendi was involved in some of those goals and how they were created. He was just brilliant. The little touch through he played in the second half for Gyokeres to have that shot. There was just some wonderful passes. It was a brilliant midfield performance from just one of the signings of the season. As I said, he was my man in the match. It could have gone to so many people. Gyokeres getting 2 goals, obviously. Martinelli, I thought was brilliant. Gabriel, as I said, could easily be man of the match. Rice, I thought had a good game, but Zubamendi was my standout for. He's just an absolute class act. He really is. So I gave him a 9. I gave Rice an 8. Another top performance from Declan Rice and another couple of brilliant set piece deliveries to lead to Arsenal goals. Eze, I gave a 7. I've got a question on Eze coming up, so I won't talk too much more on him. I gave him a 7. Saka, I gave a 7. Thought Saka was very bright in the first half, not quite so much in the second half, but good performance as always. Gyokeres, 2 goals, the sort of goals you want your strikers to score as well, in the right place at the right time. Yes, he got a bit of luck with the first one, but he absolutely deserved that for what he's gone through in the last few weeks. Then in right place at the right time to make it 2 soon after. Gave him an 8. And Martinelli, another really strong Champions League performance from Gabriel Martinelli, who I also gave an 8. The subs who came on, Mosquera, White, Norgard, Nwaneri, Marino, they all did their bits and pieces. I thought Nwaneri was pretty bright when he came on, which was good to see. Mosquera looks, just as good as he always has done. So yeah, some good solid performances from the substitutes when they came on. But yeah, my man of the match, Martin Zubamendi. I just thought he was absolutely outstanding. Right, we're going to go through what some of you guys have had to say. Obviously, there was loads of happy comments on my YouTube yesterday, understandably, after a win and a performance like that. Emma says, good work, Charles. A big shout out to Nwaneri. That little cameo he had was really good. Hope he gets more minutes and keeps on improving. He definitely think we have a hell of a player there. Out of Nadia, says that Zubamendi has been amazing. Pay attention to how often he is involved in goal-scoring opportunities in open play. He wins balls. He passes with both feet. He's amazing. Signing of the season so far. I would not disagree with you there. Stephen says, morning, Charles. Still buzzing after that win yesterday. What I was happiest about was that in the first half, it seemed too right side focused. Second half, it started like that, but then all of the goals came to the left. When Martinelli is in that mood, he has to start, but I feel he's better suited for European nights rather than the Premier. I think it's 3 goals in 3 games now in the Champions League. He scored in every Champions League game so far. Martinelli was a brilliant finish that as well. So instinctive. First time, obviously brilliant from Marcelo Skelly to set him up. But there was real confidence there from Martinelli to take that shot on, first time against, one of the best goalkeepers in the world, and to beat him so well. I thought it was really good from Martinelli. Heidi says, just wow, how beautiful was that? For 14 minutes, the handbrake was well and truly off. What a team. This was one statement win. Spare a thought for Julian Alvarez. What a player. McCormick AFC says, I love that the players who haven't had many chances or have faced lots of criticism, Lewis Skelly, Martinelli, are thriving when given their chances. Absolutely. It's what we need this season. And the fact that they're all doing it, Martinelli comes in, seen Trossard start of the weekend. Trossard scores. Martinelli comes in, gets his opportunity, scores. They're all driving each other on. They're all wanting to be a part of this starting 11. And the competition is only going to be a good thing when players are performing. So absolutely fantastic. Alison says, hi, Charles. Simply stunning display. So many excellent performance. Classy from MLS, and you wouldn't know he hasn't had many starts lately. Brilliant goals from Big Gabby and Martinelli. Eldino says, that was a great performance by the entire team. Great to see Martinelli playing with flair and speed, even though Atleti was sitting back off the ball. Want to see more of that. Also happy to see the big man score. Deserved. Great show. Listen to you every day on my way to work. Cheers from the States. Thank you very much. Nathan, again from the States, from Atlanta, says, oh my goodness, what a game. What a result. We were on it and intense from the start. Have to say, what a sheer joy to see MLS marauding through the midfield with a delightful assist from Martinelli. Glorious. What a night. Thank you, Arsenal. I was with lots of Arsenal fans from the America Arsenal Supporters Club who are over for their game at the weekend, and lots of them came and had watched the game last night. And I was out for dinner before the game with lots of them in Finsbury Park at a Spanish restaurant. And it was great to meet you all. It was fantastic, really good fun. Went down the Tollington, went down the pub afterwards. Yeah, it was lots of fun spending time with lots of members from the Arsenal American Supporters Club. And I'm glad you all had a great day. And I hope you have a great weekend this weekend against Crystal Palace as well. And Jordan at the bottom there says, I'm gutted, Charles. We've finally conceded a shot on target. After a slightly shaky 10 minutes, we took Atletico to the cleaners in the second half. Martinelli outstanding. Lewis Skelly brilliant after going into the game, and so pleased. Big Vic got the goal. His performance and work rate deserved. Thank you very much for all of you sending in your comments in reaction to last night's game. Right, I've got a few questions here now before we wrap this one up for today. So these are on the Discord. Sam's got in touch and says, hi, Charles, what a win. How much do you think the media narrative and general momentum are impacting us currently? We look full of confidence. Do you think Liverpool's struggles, the negativity around them and media positivity around us are actually helping us? Or is it all irrelevant because we block it out? I think we block it out. I don't think Mikel lets that creep into the squad or the changing room. I just think he's so hyper-focused. And I think the players, from what I've seen from them this season, I think they're all so hyper-focused at the moment. They know this is a huge season for them and the football club. They've got a massive opportunity, one that they don't want to let slip through their hands. They've let some opportunities slip through their fingers in recent seasons. And what I'm seeing from this group of players at the moment and the manager is just an absolute intensity and just pure focus to get results, to get wins and keep grinding things out. So I don't think, certainly not the media narrative or what's going on at Liverpool, anything like that is affecting Arsenal at the moment. I think they're just focused. It might be boring, but I just think they're focused on game by game. And that's not, you know, it's a boring answer whenever Mikel says it, like, I'm just focused on the next game. But I think it is what Arsenal are doing. I really think it is what they're doing. It's just laser vision. Next game, get it out of the way, win. Next game, get it out of the way, win. I think that's what they're doing at the moment. Gunu Greg says, hi, Charles. Eze has looked not at his best the past two games. Would it be a good time to give Eason his first start in the Premier League? Or more likely, we're going to see Marino start against Palace. I thought Eze did all right yesterday. I mean, I think the thing with Eze is, is because of what we saw from him in Crystal Palace and how he was such a sort of maverick type player and doing amazing things and finding, you know, getting so much space to be able to do wonderful things. We've all sort of expected that from Arsenal from his time at Arsenal straight away. And he's obviously not really done that yet, but he's still contributing. I thought it was fine yesterday. All the good moments in the first half Arsenal had yesterday, I thought, came from Eze. He obviously hit the bar early on. He produced a brilliant little pass for Saka when Oblak came out and saved Saka's one-on-one in the first half. He set up a chance for Miles Lewis Skelly, who dragged his shot wide. So, you know, in that playmaking position, he created two good opportunities for his teammates and had a shot that hit the bar. So he wasn't brilliant last night. He wasn't, you know, there was other performers who played better than him, but I still think he had a decent enough game. In terms of would I like to see Ethan get a start? I mean, I certainly wouldn't say no to seeing Ethan getting a start, and I wouldn't be worried if I turned up against Crystal Palace at the weekend. Well, actually, I'm not going to that game, so I won't turn up, but you know what I mean. If I saw Ethan on the team sheet, I'd be more than happy and I'd be more than confident that he'd make a difference. And I thought he had a good cameo last night. So I think there's a good chance we'll see him at that game. As much as I like Mikel Merino, I don't really want to see Mikel Merino in that playmaker role. I'd much rather see Ethan if he is going to make a change at the weekend. But the more I think about it, the more I don't think he's going to make many changes again against Palace. We've got what, 5 days to recover for the Palace game now, Tuesday night to Sunday, and then next week's the League Cup when all of the first team players are going to get the night off anyway. So I think he'll probably go very, very strong again against Crystal Palace. I don't think he'll make too many changes. John says, "Hey Charles, where do you think Declan Rice sits in terms of set piece delivery worldwide? For me, he's the best in the world right now. Must be an absolute nightmare to defend against." I was talking about this with Sam and Sai on our the Arsenal Press Pass WhatsApp group this morning, and I was literally saying this. I don't think there's a better set piece delivery taker in the world than Declan Rice. If there is, then I can't think of one. Please let me know your suggestions of anyone who can put in an in-swinging delivery that is better than Declan Rice at the moment. Look at that for Gabby's first goal. You just don't get better than that. And he does it time and time and time again. He just puts it on a sixpence constantly. As good as Gabriel is at attacking the ball, if you don't get the delivery right, he's not going to score those goals. And I think he's right up there, John. I can't think of anyone better than him, I have to say. And Gareth says, "Morning, Charles. Victor was quick to mention in all the videos about his incredible teammates and the spirit in the squad. Can we quantify just how important that is and will be? And how have Mikel and the club managed to create this environment where everyone, players, coaches, everyone seems to fit so perfectly?" It's just, I think you're signing the right players. You're just building. You spend a lot of time, and Mikel's so keen on that as well in terms of the group, how the group works together and how they get on together. Back in the day when this sort of group started to emerge and they went on pre-season tours and everything like that, I've spoken about it before, how every day that they'd have to sit at different tables, so there would never, no cliques would form. It would always be each day you'd go there and you'd be sitting next to someone else, and that was something that Mikel Arteta was very, very big on and still does it now. When they take the team away, they never just sit in the groups they want to sit in, or if they want to, it's always make sure no cliques form. So you're going to sit here next to this person, get to know him a little bit. And they always do that, especially during the summer tours. They have barbecues at the training ground as well, when the families can come in and all mix together. Arteta's so hot on that, to try and build that group ethic. And I think you see it, you see it with how close the squad are all the time, really. So yeah, and again, look at the celebrations with the team when Victor scored that first goal yesterday, just what it meant to them as well as to him. And that is it from me this morning, everyone. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Like I said, Inside Arsenal Extra Time will be coming a little bit later on today with James Bench from CBS. We'll be talking more about a really fun night at the Emirates last night. Take it easy, everyone. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.